Okay, I don't know if we recorded anything before or what, but we've joined this looking for dry joints on transmits, Maxcom 30E, and it was, just to recap, it was receiving okay, but there's no transmit. So if you didn't, if we weren't recording the rest of it, you just saved 10 minutes. So we'll switch it back on, see whether we've done any dry joints. So because it's receiving okay, well, okay-ish, the VCO must be working, but there's no transmit whatsoever. So not even 3 inches into my walkie-talkie, so it's not generating transmit frequencies. So it has to be in the VCO. We're not going to adjust the VCO because they don't go out of alignment on this model. So it's got to be dry joints. Let's see whether I've fixed it. We need to go on camera 1. And we now have transmit. So I've gone around for dry joints in this section where the wax can leach through. We now have transmit. And that's the lid. No TX, dry joints. I just had a look through, found about 15 iffy looking ones, and now it transmits. It didn't before, so there we go. And carry on now where we left off. We've done receive the preliminary findings. It's doing 3.2 watts. Channel 1 is doing 3.2 watts. Channel 40 is doing 3.1 watts. Back to channel 20. It's 940 milliamps. And low power is absolutely bang on 400 milliwatts. Our meter is reading what? Let's go to full power. The meter is actually correctly reading 4. Okay, now we can see what frequency it's on, because we didn't know what frequency it was on before. I showed you what, I'll tell you what, I'll show you what I guessed if we didn't. I thought we'll put the frequency up for 27,790,89, something like that. So let's see what it really is on. 79107, I was wrong. Doesn't affect the readings though, 79107. The Tuskia has been on 28 hours. I forgot to turn it off last night. Let's do the frequency right now. I want it slightly high, but not that high. It's just on the spot where we want it to be. It isn't wanting to be. So I'm just going to waggle it around and we'll start again. That's brilliant. 27,79127, and as you know it should be 27,79125, but it's very, very slightly high, so because it dropped with age. We note check the VCO, as I was saying in the beginning, which I don't think got recorded. It doesn't go out and you need to add 3 components to be able to read it. So we'll tune up the transmitter. Go back to camera 1. we're going to detune it to find that peak. So we're in the centre of the peak, so we've got the maximum chance of it being the same power throughout the 40 channels. We're still at 3.2, it's made no difference at all. This has never been touched, there's no silliness. Just tune this next one. We're now at 3.6 watts. Then the power's actually set with this one here. And it's doing 4 watts. Okay, so now we'll look at the other channels. Channel 40, 3.95, channel 1, 4.05. Set the meter. Probably bangs across now. I'm really looking forward to doing the meter lamp on these. Not. That's that done. I'm hoping the nasty sounding receive is the detector, not a Duff crystal filter. I've done that. We need to do low power, don't we? So it was spot on before, 400 milliwatts. So it won't be spot. You know what? It's still spot on. It's that preset if we were going to do it. And the current consumption is now going to be, we've gone at 0.8 of a watt on transmit, so let's see what our current consumption is. Back to full power. 946. 946. By tuning the transmitter meticulously, we're only drawing 6 milliamps more, and yet we're doing 0.8 of a watt more. More than 3/4 of a watt more for 4 milliamps. That's what you get. Notice the Samsung chip. I assume Maxcom, Maxon and Samsung in probably the next factory. There's a Samsung chip there. Okay. Have they changed the logo? Have they gone away from the 3 stars? I can't remember. I don't have anything. I don't think I've got anything Samsung that was made after about 1990. Right. Let's see where we are with the deviation on this test set. Wallow. I've got 1. Wallow. I've got about 1.8. We'll read that into the other test set, but I'll just wait for that to warm up a bit longer. We're not doing VCO. That would be very time consuming, and I've had to do it in the past. I've shown you how that's done. I think it was on a Midland 3001, but you have to add 3 parts in. Now then, receive. So we'll look at the oscilloscope. And we'll put 100 microvolts, so it's an S9 equivalent signal on the signal generator, and we'll have enough volume for a sensible trace. So fingers crossed that it's the detector that's out. wouldn't say that was out. Anyway, let's look at the IF. I think we'll go to the SINAD meter. I'm going to be looking at the SINAD meter. I'm going to be looking at the oscilloscope and the front panel meter, which is great fun when it's not lit up, just to verify I'm in the right position with the IF. I'll drop the signal. So we're trying to get the meter to move to the left. I can't see that on any of the 3 meters I'm looking at. I'm going to put the signal up a fraction. It's there. I think we're solely on the SINAD meter now. Let's have a look. Yep. Drop the signal a fraction. That looks to be about where we should be. So let's have a look where we are for our... Yes, we're where we should be. I won't tell whether that crystal filter's right until we get to the on the air test. 0.76. .68. 1 microvolt. No, not quite. 1.2. So we want the meter to read, it might now read right. Not quite. So a bit of intervention there. As a point, where's the... Oh, it's on the back of the meter on this. That's now reading S9. Tick that off. Squelch. So I'm going to put squelch to full. And we'll go to our signal generator attenuator controls. That's at 100 microvolts. It still never ever opens. Let's see whether we can get some adjustment. It's there. Oh, I am being careful. There it is. Every time it's in the right position. Right, we'll do the opposite. We'll turn the squelch to minimum, set threshold. I've parked the signal generator at 0.3 of a microvolt. Signal generator back on. Straight in at 0.3. Well, it hasn't repeated that, so let's get another figure. So let the squelch come in. 0.58. So we've got deviation to do. So I'm going to see whether the signal, the test set behind me, is ready to work. Most of these test sets, they're half an hour for stability. It's nothing to do with the fact that most of these are 1980s test sets. If they were brand new, they still have to be on for half an hour. You can do tests straight away, but you've got no accuracy, so you've got to do what it says in the instruction book. Okay, let's see what that says. Wow, it's actually 1.9, so it does need to come up a bit. Where is it? It's that one, isn't it? Wow. Now I'm going to swap mics. I'm going to go from the factory original, which I've been using. We'll get the standard Cybernet wired mic. And we'll just make sure this is the same, because when we do the on-the-air test, we'll be using this microphone right up until the end. Wow. Yeah, it's fine. See what we're getting now on this test set. It's about 2.4 peak with that mic and about 2.5 peak with the factory original. Wow, it's reading bang on today. Perhaps it likes being left on for 25 hours. It was 1.8. It's now 2.1 to 2.4. Right, so as far as I'm concerned, the radio's done unless it's got a Duff crystal filter. AWI, we can set that with a matchbox. You set the matcher so you've got an SWR of about 3.5 to 1, and then you can twiddle this for it to work. What we're going to do in this situation, but we charge a fee for this. So what we're going to do in this situation, with it being a customer's job, I've shown that before, is we're just going to unplug the aerial and transmit for a fraction. It comes on, it works. That's all I need to do. Never ever adjust it like that, but it's, I say, we put it into a matcher, set the SWR for about 3.5, 4 to 1, something like that, and then you can adjust it if it's been fiddled with. But this set hasn't been fiddled with. Now we're going to have to do some right fiddling because we've got to do the meter lamp. Don't think it's quite as scary as some models. Got a bit more space. So the meter lamp, we're going to have to take the front off. Whatever way we look at it, the front's got to come off. And this is where your time's going. Right, I'll come back to you in a moment. We'll just take those off. Because these are kind of chrome plated, it may well be possible to kind of push them initially with the front, the whole front, so we can actually get a grip. And I have done it. I've managed to do that. That's one. We'll do the same from the opposite side. have another go at doing that. There we are, I managed to get them all off. So the next question is, no, I was going to say, is that part of the front? No, it's not. We've got to get this meter out, and of course you've got all this wiring. Let's just disconnect the power, because it's one of the things that's not being helpful. So there's several types of meter, but there's one with a little hatch in it at the side. Is it that one? No, it's not. This is the one where you've got a small subboard I've got to have enough loose wire it's the red one which is holding me back, and that red one is one of the meter lamp wires, but I don't want to unsolder it because you don't need to. What I'm trying to do is have enough wire to twist this round, but I don't think we're going to manage. So you've got this subboard, we've got to take away the front just enough, the cover I'm talking about, to get this subboard out. And we've got replacement lamps which come from RS Components, which are wire ended and fit in there. Yeah, we'll come back to that. Yes, so these ones, so it's 6559592 for people with an RS account. I'm not going to make you watch me spend 10 minutes soldering this in, but these are what we're looking, because we usually use those wire ended ones which we get from I've got to think of his Economic Devices. Yeah, Rapid Electronics. So this is exactly what we want, and that's what we're going to put in. So there's a quick test. We're going to power it up. There we are. It's the correct brightness they want it to be. So, oh, that's a bit dim. No, that's the correct brightness, folks. Correct milliamp of bulb, and this is where you get people putting like headlights into things, and then the meter's jammed because of the heat. Right, this front, it's pretty immaculate, this set, isn't it? Making sure these two LEDs actually line up along with the meter. The meter and the LEDs. Okay, so we're all put back together, and all I need to do is to solder the speaker back on. I've not heard anybody on it yet, so until we do the on the air test I won't be able to tell whether the filters are okay. There's so many people you see off frequency because they're using illegal radios, that when you get a set which is a narrower, you know, if you listen to them on a Fidelity 1000, which is as wide as a barn door, they'll all sound great. But once you start using sets with really good selectivity, these people who are operating off frequency or on illegal radios, they sound absolutely dreadful. And that's when we would know whether we've got filter problems. So just like the reference crystals, crystal filters also change with age. So if you can hear this bloke sounds absolutely abysmal. I just need to recheck the... Just need to put it back on the test set and just recheck that the S meter, because I've had the meter out, just in case we've clonked the preset which is on the back of the meter. So just go back into the test set. So I want 2779125, which we've got, channel 20, it just sounds absolutely awful. Yeah, still showing S9. Anyway, we're going to do an on the air test, and I'm just going to double check this detector. It sounds so horrible. And if we curtail the test, well, it'll appear another day. So big signal. Detector. So it sounds all right on a juicy signal. Let's change the tone. Turn the signal down until you get down to 0.3 of a microvolt. It sounds all right. I just always a bit extra trepidation when it comes to sets with crystal filters. Now, where did the lid go? And you could say, well, why don't you change your crystal filter? Well, because I don't think the customer can have unnecessary expense, you know. Just put a couple of screws in for now. Right, I'll turn the test gear off. Go back to aerial. At least you don't have to wait for it to lock on the channels like some modern sets. You can see how dreadful he sounds. Right, done on the air test. Thanks for watching the Maxcom 30E from, what was it, 1988?